All right. Hey, what's going on, Freemers? The war mentality. Um. Uh. So we're gonna talk about Mars and also North Node and Scorpio Mars mentality. Um. The planet of Mars is the planet of violence, aggression, sex, your drive, your energetic force, planet of force, ambition, sports, competition, divine masculine force. How Mars indicates how you Mars in your birth chart indicates how you pursue your goals, assert yourself, attack, and defend, and cut people or circumstances off. Think breakups. Uh, Mars indicates how you symbolize the way you tap into your raw primal instincts, including the way you disseminate and creative and sexual energy. North Node increases benefit, like Jupiter expands our calling mission, where we're headed, what we learn in the future, the destination, the unknown, the challenge. Um, South Node decreases malefic, like Saturn. Contracts our instincts, where we came from, what we already know, the past, the launch pad, familiar, the comfort. Scorpio North Node, transformation, transmutation, hardship, power games, psychological development, war mentality, action, instincts, and the master of the soul. Scorpio North Node, letting go of logic, of the logical mind, following instinct, loyalty at your own expense. I'm kind of confused about what that means, but I'm guessing not thinking of the bigger plan. You're only loyal to the tourist understanding of money, of how far your money goes. Always being a provider, overindulge, being too practical. Why war mentality? Mars is the soldier of the zodiac. If you don't embrace the understanding that this planet is at war, you're a fool. Because we are deeply at war. This is a planet where you will be pushed in a place where you will have to fight for your life in every way. You'll have to have the win the battle mentality first. Win the mental battle first. You'll have to master your own psychology. This isn't optional. You'll have to master your own psychology. This is not optional. It means you'll have to develop obsession and stick to it. You'll have to accept the realm of spirituality, because if you can move things energetically, then you can move mountains, because they are bigger forces than your own. You must understand that going into the shadows is not an option. Learning to fight can help you, because you may be tested in the physical, and you should be prepared for it. Like, and many times I've caught myself by surprise, or by surprise in fights. And because my Pluto is in 0 degrees Sagittarius, so Sagittarius is very spontaneous. So randomly I may get into a fight. So I gotta prepare for myself for that. War mentality. Understanding that you'll have to fight through survival is at the core of your essence. Life is a fight for territory. And once you stop fighting for what you want, what you don't want will automatically take over. Les Brown. This quote you must master, as well as if you don't program your mind, life will program it for you. That's also Les Brown. Mars is a violent planet, so if you don't play to win, you play to lose. You'll learn that quickly. You'll learn that winning doesn't come with getting of the material things, but the person you become. Because if you don't become a certain person, you can lose the material. And what's crazy about that is that that's not an inverse. Whew. I'm learning that so profoundly in life. That is not an inverse where you get the material things and you become more. it's usually when you become more, you get more material things. And you have to focus on the things that people can't take away from you. Those things that start with your psychological faculties. Focus on legacy. That is something that where you'll have to sacrifice your now for the future. You have to find an obsession, not your passion. Obsession is a Scorpio North node. Passion is a Taurus word, meaning how they say find what you love. Usually that's the quotation behind it. And in this North node, that's not the thing to do. Now, there are two sides of wealth. Yes, the Taurus wealth where you find what you love, Venus, but that may not be the only way to wealth. You may find the other side, Scorpio, where you find an obsession and then you become wealthy that way as well. So that's why for me in this incarnation, finding my passion for writing is not what's going to get me wealthy. My obsession for marketing is going to get me wealthy, and then I'm going to write books. You need to focus on the fact that you need to get your needs met, not your wants. In the Scorpio North node, you need to get your needs met before you get your wants met. The longer you're able to delay your wants, the stronger your willpower will become. You must feed your desire by any means necessary in the most integral way. Not every Scorpio is ethical, but do your best to do so because you don't want to reap negative karma. 8 is the number of karma and discipline because 8 shares Saturn's energy. In numerology, 8 Saturn is ruled by 8, but also it's like the two twins that rule 8, Scorpio and Saturn. With the obsession, you have the ability to forecast the future. You will see what others don't. Accept it, learn, and move in silence. Pluto is also brings destruction. Pluto in astrology rules in transformation, death, rebirth, war, power gain, struggle, sacrifice, ancestors. I always say wherever Scorpio is in your chart, ancestors are. That's where you get the most help from from an ancestral angelic realm. Or you can call on it. Psychologist, natural psychology. If this is in your 4th house, it gives you with the ability to have psychological analytical skills, and that I've been blessed with that. With the gift and the curse. It's a we mentality, marriage, merging, partnership, generational movement. We mentality. Taurus South Node. I have wants, comfort at all times, ownership, being a provider, rules Venus, a provider and also a lover. Rules Venus. I have mentality because with Scorpio, if you really notice, they show love privately, but they're not big on, oh, I need to love and all this other shit. They don't care for that. When you meet a Scorpio, most of the time they're about their mission. I have mentality all about me and what I have. For a full coverage, join my membership, bit.ly, and type it as you see here, astrology membership button. bit.ly/astrology membership button. I'm gonna give you the story time as well. So with this Taurus that I know, the dangers of the Taurus South node when it comes to the Scorpio North node. The danger of the Taurus South node is that you have boyish, because I just posted a video about that. You have boyish comforts and you have you have boy comforts and man comforts. A boy's comfort is based on who he is to his environment, the family he grew up in, not the family he creates. The family he creates is a man's responsibility and a man's duty. A boy's comfort is based on the family he grew up in. Oof. On the family he grew up in. So if you meet a man at a certain age, meaning he's past 30, or even I would say past 25, but past 25 and upward, and he's still with the family he grew up with, he is executing boyish mentality, boyish lanes, boyish comforts, etc., etc. A man's comfort is with his own family, his own home, Cancer, his own reality, his own world. because that's what men go out and do. They create their own world, like Mars. They go create their own world. But boys, they're okay with being at home unless it's a bigger plan, like you're with your family to save, to regroup, to recover, then I understand that. But if that's not the mission, then you're recruiting back into being a child where somebody's taking care of you. Like, in other words, and I had to understand it when talking to the different women, where if you're dealing with an archetype like it's like a Cancerian figure, or cancer energy, you can realize you're being put into a child's mentality. So the older, wiser Taurus is all about ownership, all about gaining their own, becoming their own. And sometimes there's no problem with sharing resources, but there's a difference between sharing resources and just using people to get your needs met. And that's even a lower version of Scorpio. So where the Scorpio at its peak wants to be as independent as possible, yes, we can share, but they want to have their own, so they cannot be controlled in the darkest sense of the word. So the Taurus South Node, it's extremely difficult when you're, because I noticed by looking at this Taurus, but he's in his late 30s and he's still doing boyish shit, like when he used to go get a high rise and deal with some chick and misuse his funds and play around and get the nice car. And like, for instance, he got a car before he got his apartment, and he does credit. And when I was speaking to an older lady, she was like, yeah, that's that boy shit. Boys do that. Here's why that's true. Because when you're a young man, when you're 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, you at your mom's house when you're a young adult, right? Boy, young adult. When you at your mom's house, you get your car first before you get your apartment, right? Because you got to drive to school, etc., right? But usually, you know how they say, yo, get out. So if you want to be a man, get out, right? So instead of manning up and like fully walking into his manhood of providing, protecting, and all that other stuff, he is okay with doing the boyish, playing the man's role because of his age, but still having a boy's mentality. Where I love where I posted in this video that it should be uploading. You have, if you like, I like what the Taurus 19 Key said it. He said, a man is not a man. A man is a man based on how he manages his life. So that's what he said. That word breaks down into man and age. So after a certain age, if the man isn't acting a certain way, he's really doing boy things. So when I'm 24, so I'm a young adult, right? So it's okay to, like, where I'm at right now, to live in somebody else's house and build my business. I just need to, grow up, and not grow up, but grow faster. Not even grow up, but grow up as in grow faster. Not grow up as in, because I've grown up quite a lot. I'm in a position that most people are not in, right? But most young people are with their family. Even when I was with my realtor to get my first apartment, he was like, yo, when you speak to the guy for your application, he said, say you're with family. That's why you didn't pay any rent. Let me say that again. He said, say you're with family. That's why you don't have no rent payment records on your bank statement. That's when you're a young adult to a boy. You get what I'm saying? So when you're in comfort, you're okay with saying, hey, I don't pay any rent. Because some women have told me, you're not a man until you pay that rent, right? Till you own something. So you're able to tell a landlord or somebody, yo, I pay rent, I pay mortgage. I heard that all my life, even though I kind of disagree with that. But because you don't define your manhood by rent you pay, that's totally different topic. You don't define your manhood by that. But one of the results of man, let's say it like that. One of the results of manhood is you pay for a mortgage. And as long as like this older gentleman told me, because he has a daughter around my age, he was like, yo, like he said, when you apply that application, when you applying for life, you'd say I was with family. So this Taurus, who's in his late 30s, is doing the same thing, like if he's a young adult when he's not. So the scary thing about having a Taurus South node is that when you're in a Scorpio South North node, you got to understand, yo, what's my next psychological level? And that's where I'm going now. What's my next psychological level? Because this psychological level that I'm on is not okay anymore. Because now I got to level up. You feel me? But this is also when you have a Scorpio North node, study Taurus and vice versa. But if you want a longer version, probably going to be an hour or so. Go to bit.ly/astrology membership button. That's where we're going to be covering more of this. Peace.